G'day, he's going. Alright, doing my research again this morning, and I thought I'd share with you what I found recently. I was over Rylestone way, and we had a bit of time, so we went for a drive out to an area called Dunn's Swamp. Interesting area, and had a little bit of a walk around till my knee starts to give up on me. And while I was walking around, I actually found a bit of volcanic glass, obsidian, and I thought, that's an interesting thing to find in an area that's just all predominantly sedimentary sandstone. So got the mind thinking. And anyway, got back in the vehicle, went for a drive, and we ended up at a little quarry. And this is what we're looking at. So it stood out because when you're in an area that's got a surface geology of just mainly sedimentary sandstone, like old ocean floors, and then all of a sudden you get this real rapid change in colour, material, like this is all very, very fine grain. It's a mudstone, and I believe, and I say this is what I'm leading into, just sharing what I've learnt so far. I believe this was a hydrothermal vent, or what they call a mud pot. And it was very interesting to look at. And what I'll do is I'll just show you where this location is. So if you want to go and have a look, you can. So what I'll also do is I'll show you how I do the research. And we're just going to use the three different ones: Google Maps, topographic map. This is one of my go-to ones because it just shows elevation in colour, and it's really quickly and easily way to find high elevations and low elevations. And I say I'll go into detail about this one as we're going along, and of course good old Mindat. So let's just find the area where I found this stuff. We'll come in. There's Bathurst. We'll go this way. There's Ralston. We're coming in this way. There's the Kurrakaji River. We'll just go over to satellite view, just help point a few things out. So this is the location. This is the little quarry we pulled up in and had a look. And you can see that red coloration right there. So this is all sandstone above it. It's all sedimentary stuff. But right there you've got this little area, a very, very mudstone, but it's the coloration. To me it tends to lead to organic matter that's been broken down to a clay, but then it's been brought up from underneath the earth in a hydrothermal vent. It's been very pressurized. It's just come up in a little nodule underneath the sandstone. So that's where that rock came from. So picked a few up, brought them back, and started looking at it and going, right, I need to figure out what's been going on here. So initially I wanted to figure out what the white stuff was. And the first thought was, it's mud clay that's been ejected up into the air, and it's fallen down as a mud drop. But then when you actually take a closer look at it, it doesn't change. This material, this red material, is the exact same as this white material. but this has been chemically altered. And what would chemically alter a mudstone like that? Well, when you think volcanically wise, acid. So this is what I've figured out. The acid was coming up, it's probably sulphuric acid, like that's a volcanic acid, coming up, squirting out of this bloody mud pool, and as it dropped down onto that red material, the acid reacted with the organic material in it. Now I say it's acid because when you actually look, you can see bubbles in it. There's a bubble there, and you can see all these tiny little bubbles. But all those bubbles are on the inside. What's happened on the outside is that's the chemically altered red rock. And it's leached all the red out of it. But this was the concentration of the acid was still in the centre. And it kept doing that process until it finally absorbed all the acid. That's the underside of it. Again, you can make out little pockets of gas bubbles where it was reacting with that red material, that red mud. So okay, if that was to be right, we need to say that this was a volcanic area because we've got something that I believe to be hydrothermal. Different type of material, and it's got acid in it. And this is where we start looking at topographic and MINDAT. So we'll go over the topographic. Now we want to find the same spot. There's Sydney Basin. We come inland. Bathurst sits on a giant granite batholith. So that's that bulge there. Then we come down over here. There's our quarry. There's our little red area of material. So I'll come back out. I'll probably about there. Right, we're looking for evidence of volcanic activity in this area. If we're going to say that's hydrothermal, let's find some evidence. Let's just turn the colour on. We'll look at what's high in the area. We've got that one, that one. But right next to our quarry, there's our quarry there. We got this fella here. Now just turn the colour off again because I want to show you something. Look at that formation, alright? Now it's like a rounded shape like that. When you're doing research, you want to look for things that are different to others, something that stands out. You start looking at these other raised areas, they've all got sharp edges, jagged. That doesn't. Again, look at these here, oh, that's a shadow. That cloud there's throwing a shadow there. See how they got jagged edges? But that one doesn't. Same thing, that's pushed up. As that thermal activity was pushing up underneath this ancient sea floor, it was causing these bubbles. They've got technical terms, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to try and simplify it. And these other high peaks. So we'll just turn the colour back on again. That one there. again, the good thing with this topographic map is it's interactive. So if I just click on that, that'll give me an elevation. So it's 1,000 meters roughly above sea level. Now if I just go down there and click on it down there, that's 761. So a big change in elevation, very, very close together. Alright, so we'll just come back out again. And I say we look at other formations, well I do, that are close by. So now I'm going to take us across to Mindat, and we're going to actually see if we can figure out what these high points are. And that might lead us to knowing whether or not our little quarry is actually something that is hydrothermal. So let's find our area again. There's Sydney, there's Bathurst. It does take a while to get your head around knowing where you're looking. So that's where our quarry is. Right about there. We'll just shrink it and I'll just double check. Got that river there, that road there, goes around like that. Let's just double check. There's our road going around, there's our river there. Yep, we've got the right spot. Now over here we've got layers. At the moment I've just got OpenStreetMap, which is what we're looking at. Down here we've got MacroStrat. We'll break it down, we'll make it really easy. Basically it's just what you see on the surface. So if you go there, this just tells you what's there on the surface. So at the moment I've got it turned down, but we'll turn it back up. We'll go about halfway. So now we're starting to get coloration in it. So if we want to know what the colour means, let's just click on it. Narrow burn group. It starts to give you information about colours. But what we'll do is we'll actually zoom out a bit now. Now we've got yellow. And what do you think that yellow is going to be? Mafic volcanic rocks. Again, we'll simplify this mafic. That's basalt. So anything that's yellow in the area is mafic volcanic rock. I'm pretty sure it's going to be basalt. And we start seeing a lot of these little rises. So there's our quarry, sits in the middle of all of these little volcanic mafics or basalt areas. So that helps confirm that that is most likely a hydrothermal anomaly. And hopefully I've actually shown you how to identify areas and what's in areas by doing a field trip or a stress drive. Go and have a stress drive and just look around and see if you can discover something new. And I say there's some interesting things. The more you start doing research, the more interesting things you find. And I say this is an interesting one here. Did you see the name? Creek pipe. Creek pipe. What do you think a pipe would be referring to? Yeah, it's a volcanic pipe. There's different minerals around there. Peridot? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'll have a look. There you go. That's what's found at that pipe. That one's from New Zealand, Norway, Arizona. So I say, it's the more you do research, the more things you'll discover. Now, say, going back to the pictures again, I talk about organic matter. That's what I believe this was. This mineral, I believe, was probably what they call a kerosite, which is like a precursor to coal. So it's organic matter that's, you know, been broken down. And so not far from where I found this, you start getting into the coal seams that they're mining. Over here. So this is all part of the Sydney Basin. All these coal mines. And what we do know is this coal continues underneath all of this. All of this stuff here all came in and sat on top of this once shallow basin. So there you go. All right, well that's what I've discovered with me rocks so far. But I say, all I've got to do now is just get some acid, put a bit of acid on it and see what it does, and that'll help me confirm that this is actually a big acid drop that's chemically altered this material. All right, guys, well, that's it for today. Get out there and get into it. Hope you're finding lots of yellow. Oh, it's a big stretch. And until the next video, have a good one, and I'll catch you later.